They told us we were a nation of dust and despair, a forgotten corner of the world. I told them to watch closely, because we would forge our destiny not with words, but with our own hands, brick by brick.
Imagine a landlocked nation in the heart of West Africa, a country with no coastline, where cracked dirt roads stretched into the horizon, where dreams of progress once felt like a distant fantasy, where hope was buried under layers of hardship. This was Burkina Faso, just a few years ago, a nation engulfed in poverty, political chaos, and relentless conflict. But what if I told you that in less than 3 years, this same country is rising, faster than anyone dared to believe? From dusty villages to modern cities, from despair to determination, Burkina Faso is being rebuilt, brick by brick, dream by dream. This is the story of a bold young leader, of a people refusing to give up, and of a nation rewriting its destiny. At the center of this change is a young man with a vision, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. When he came to power in late 2022, Traoré didn't bring empty promises or polished speeches, he brought belief. He believed that Burkina Faso could stand on its own 2 feet, that it didn't need to beg for survival, but could build for its own future. Instead of parades and headlines, he delivered results. In just a few years, Traoré launched 25 major projects, redefining what was possible and shocking the world. October 2024. A plane roars into the sky, painted in bold red, green, and yellow. Air Burkina is reborn. Once grounded for years due to economic collapse, the national airline is back, thanks to a $19 million deal with China. This isn't just a plane, it's a symbol, a message to the world. Burkina Faso is flying again. No parades, no noise, just quiet pride. This flight connected Ouagadougou to Dakar and Bamako, and gave the people something far greater: belief. In the sun-scorched lands of southern Burkina Faso, a new hum is rising, not from insects, but from industry. A modern cashew factory now processes local nuts, keeping profits at home. Before, raw cashews were exported and profits went abroad. Now, thanks to Traoré's vision, this factory is expected to provide 20,000 direct jobs and up to 50,000 indirectly. It's more than an economic plan, it's about pride. Farmers are no longer just labourers, they're stakeholders in their country's future. For years, millions in Burkina Faso lived miles from the nearest bank, excluded from the financial system. That changed in October 2024 with the launch of the Postal Bank of Burkina Faso. First imagined in 1988, but only realised under Traoré's leadership. With $25 million in capital, this bank is for farmers, young entrepreneurs, and women with big dreams but little access. It doesn't chase profit, it fuels possibility. Traoré calls it the Bank of Empowerment, and for many, it's the first time a bank has said, "You matter." In Burkina Faso today, clothing isn't just fashion, it's a statement. Under Traoré, the country's textile industry is booming. Factories are producing school uniforms, military gear, and traditional robes, made from Faso Dan Fani, a proud local fabric. In a bold cultural move, second-hand Western clothes were banned. Even colonial-era courtroom wigs were replaced with traditional African attire. This isn't about fabric, it's about identity. It's about a country proudly wearing its own story. Once outdated and ignored, Bobo-Dioulasso International Airport is getting a massive 80 billion CFA francs makeover. A new terminal, expanded runways, new roads. Soon, this airport will serve 1.5 million passengers annually, turning Burkina Faso's second city into a regional hub for tourism, trade, and connection. This project doesn't just connect Burkina Faso to the world, it tells the world Burkina Faso is ready. For decades, farming was seen as the last option. Now, it's a career of pride. In October 2024, over 400 tractors, water pumps, fertilizers, and high-quality seeds were distributed nationwide. But tools weren't enough. Traoré invested $200 million to train 20,000 young people in modern agriculture, from smart irrigation to aquaculture. They were given not just skills, but land. Farming is no longer survival, it's strategy, and it's building roots, literally and figuratively. 35 kilometers outside Ouagadougou, a new international airport is rising, with a 3.5-kilometer runway, capacity for 1 million passengers, and 4 expandable terminals. Donin is world-class. It's not just an airport, it's a green marvel. Using low-carbon concrete and powered by a 25-megawatt solar plant, it represents a clean, confident Burkina Faso. This is more than infrastructure, it's ambition with wings. In January 2024, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger broke away from ECOWAS and formed the Alliance of Sahel States. This wasn't rebellion, it was liberation. Tired of outdated foreign-led systems, they chose independence. The AES is now building its own bank, shared stability fund, and even biometric passports. A new economy, a new voice, a new West Africa led by its own people, not outsiders. Conflict and poverty forced thousands into displacement. Traoré responded with action, building 1,000 permanent social homes in places like Nouri, Boulia, and Barcelogo. More than shelters, these are full communities, roads, schools, infrastructure, solid homes made of brick and steel, built to last. This is not aid, it's restoration, it's the promise, you belong here. This is Burkina Faso's moment. A land once dismissed is now leading by example, not with noise, but with purpose, not with dependence, but with dignity. Captain Traoré isn't just building projects, he's building belief, and in every village, every airport, every cashew shell and spool of fabric, that belief is becoming real. The world is watching, and Burkina Faso is rising. Communities are coming to life, places where people no longer feel like temporary guests in their own land. For Traoré, this isn't just about building houses, it's about restoring dignity, it's about giving people a reason to believe again. For decades, roads in Burkina Faso were more than infrastructure, they were reminders of limitation. From independence in 1960 until 2022, only 3,600 kilometers of asphalt had been laid. A paved road was something most citizens only dreamed of, but Traoré set a goal that sounded impossible: 50,000 kilometers of new roads. Not built by foreign companies, but by Burkinabe hands. The government purchased 900 machines, trained engineers and workers, and turned road building into a national mission. These roads now connect more than just towns. They connect people to schools, hospitals, and opportunity. Each stretch of asphalt is a line of pride, proof that a country can shape its future with its own hands. Being landlocked has always been a heavy burden. Goods came slowly and at high cost, but in Bobo-Dioulasso, a different kind of port is rising. A $253 million dry port, a hub of logistics with warehouses and clearance terminals that will speed up trade and slash import costs. This isn't just infrastructure, it's a bold mindset shift. Burkina Faso didn't sit and wish for a coastline. It created a port in the heart of the land. A nation that once relied on others is now building its own path to prosperity. Education was once a dream too expensive for many families. Generations of children grew up without ever owning a textbook. But in June 2024, everything changed. A 5-year plan was launched to make education free, from primary school all the way to university. No more tuition, no more gatekeeping. Schools are being reopened in conflict zones. New lecture halls, secondary schools, and vocational centers are being built. The curriculum is changing too, focusing on real-world skills and national pride. For Traoré, this isn't about classrooms, it's about creating thinkers, builders, and leaders for a better tomorrow. Fuel has long been a weakness for Burkina Faso, brought in from distant ports, vulnerable to disruptions. But in a bold $70 million move, Traoré bought the Tema oil port in Ghana. For the first time, Burkina Faso owns its own fuel gateway. A massive hydrocarbon depot back home now stores over 100,000 cubic meters. This means stable prices, fewer shortages, and real energy independence. For Traoré, fuel is more than a commodity. It's freedom, the power to move forward without permission. Only 1 in 5 people in Burkina Faso has electricity. In many rural areas, power is a distant luxury. But Traoré is aiming higher than anyone expected. In July 2023, he signed a $4 billion deal with Russia's Rosatom to build the country's first nuclear power plant. By 2030, the goal is electrification for 90% of cities and 50% of rural zones. Russian engineers are training Burkinabe workers, sharing technology, and supporting public education on nuclear energy. While wealthier nations hesitate, Burkina Faso is moving forward, proving that big dreams aren't limited by borders. In 1987, Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary president, was assassinated. For years, the site of his death remained untouched, but now it is transforming into something sacred. A 10,000 square meter memorial is rising, topped by an 87-meter tower and built in honor of Sankara and 4 other African heroes, designed by architect Francis Kéré. This isn't just a monument, it's a promise, a reminder that the spirit of Sankara still lives and that Burkina Faso will continue to pursue a united, self-reliant Africa. While the world obsesses over youth, Traoré made a different choice, to honor the elderly. In Bobo-Dioulasso, the country's first modern geriatric hospital is being built, dedicated entirely to senior citizens. The government has also allocated 1.7 billion CFA francs for free medical checkups, medications, and social support for over 95,000 retirees and their families. This isn't charity, it's respect. A country that remembers its elders remembers its roots. In May 2025, a new industrial heart began beating in central Burkina Faso. The Shanglongo cement plant now produces 10,000 tons a day, enough to fuel the country's rapid construction. It's powered by renewable energy, equipped with modern emission controls, and staffed by thousands of workers. Before, Burkina Faso had to import most of its cement. Now, it produces its own. This isn't just industry, it's sovereignty. Proof that the country can build its dreams using its own soil and its own strength. Burkina Faso was once dismissed as a technological backwater, but from a factory in Ouagadougou, something historic rolled out. The Italo-electric car, designed and assembled entirely by Burkinabe engineers. With solar charging, GPS, Bluetooth, and a 330-kilometer range, the Italo isn't just a vehicle, it's a vision. A nation no longer just exports raw materials, it creates its own machines, innovations, and future. For years, the country's 45 provinces felt disconnected. Transport was slow and trade was difficult. But Traoré is stitching the nation together with steel. The Faso Railway, a new national rail system, is being laid across the country, connecting regions, markets, and families. It will move crops, minerals, and passengers faster and cheaper than ever before. This isn't just transit, it's unity, a nation drawn together by tracks of progress. Clean water was once a luxury. Children walked for miles with buckets. Toilets were often nothing more than pits. But now, $48 million from the African Development Bank is being used to change that. New mobile water systems, storage tanks, and over 13,000 household toilets are being installed across the country. 500,000 people will benefit. This isn't just infrastructure, it's dignity, proof that every citizen deserves the basic right to health and cleanliness. The August 4th Stadium in Ouagadougou once echoed with the voices of revolution, but over time it decayed, forgotten. Now it's being restored into a world-class arena with 35,000 seats, modern facilities, and an international standard pitch. It's more than a sports venue, it's the beating heart of a proud nation, a place where Burkinabe voices rise in unison, cheering not just goals, but progress. For decades, Burkina Faso mined gold but exported the wealth. That ended in 2023. Two major mines have been nationalized and a new state-owned mining company, Sofed Faso, was born. A gold refinery built with Russian partners now processes 150 tons per year and creates 5,000 jobs. Burkina Faso no longer just digs up gold, it keeps its value. This isn't just about profit, it's about ownership. Until recently, access to quality healthcare meant leaving the country, but that's changing. Two new university hospitals, one in Bamfora with 500 beds, another in Kaya with 300, are being built. Mobile clinics, ICU units, and dozens of community health centers are spreading across the country, reaching even the most remote villages. For Traoré, a hospital isn't a structure, it's a promise that every life matters and no one will be left behind. In just a few years, 25 national projects have shifted the destiny of an entire country. Roads, factories, energy, education, water, health, everything is changing. But this transformation isn't powered by miracles. It's fueled by work, vision, and courage. Traoré and the people of Burkina Faso are not waiting for permission from the world. They are building a future with their own hands, hearts, and pride. Maybe what moved you was the image of a cashew farmer smiling at a full paycheck, or a student walking into a classroom without paying a single franc, or an old woman receiving care for the first time in years. Whatever it is, one thing is clear. Burkina Faso is rising, not quietly, not slowly, but proudly. This is Africa redefining itself, not by charity, but by conviction. Share your thoughts below. What part of this journey touched you most? If you believe in a continent shaping its own destiny, then this is your story too. See you in the next chapter, because Burkina Faso's story has only just begun.